score of 40 and yet to take step 3, do I still have a shot if I finished home country general surgery residency, then either apply for non-accredited surgery fellowship or take a research position followed by applying to the match? Which is more logical, surgical fellowship or residency after finishing home residency? Um, the problem if you have a first attempt and like step 2 score of 40, you still need to prove yourself to the programs that you are really good. You have either to work with them, and as I told you, the research way of doing it, stay with them 2 to 3 years, getting research done. Then they won't even look at your score. If they like you, if you did well, they don't even look at the score. Which is, as I told you, it's not like 1 year. You have to do like 20, 30 publication with them. Then you are persistently keep pushing for your spot. Finishing a general surgery at your in home country does not change anything. Actually, it will hurt you because most of the programs, they don't like anybody who is already attending. The reason behind that is they don't want, because you're not going to do the resident work, right? You don't like to be bossed around by other people. If you are already attending, you're not going to be accept to yell at by attending, which is basically, this is a general surgery. You'll get yelled at. You are going to be disrespected by multiple people. So they don't want somebody who is already attending somewhere else. Then this one will come and don't refuse to follow orders, or they think that it's really inappropriate to accept somebody who is attending at their home country, because they don't care about your skills really. That being said, I know few people I have a friend of mine, he finished general surgery and then thoracic surgery at his home country. Then he came in and he was a prelim in, he did actually another fellowship I forgot, it's either Cleveland Clinic or something, or Mayo, another CT surgery fellowship. Then he wanted, of course, after doing that, he cannot really work in the United States without supervision. So he tried to get into general surgery. So he got into general surgery, prelim, and the program, he's a very good guy and he's very good at what he did. Then he worked hard and he got a prelim, second year of prelim. Then after all of that, he got another, I think, PGY2 general surgery. He finished that, and then he finished general surgery. Then he finished second time thoracic surgery. Then he is now attending finally after 10 years or 50, maybe more than 10 years. So it can be done, but it's not preferable. Do old grads with a green card and no connection have any chance to match? Again, this is the same story. My friend, he's old grads. He already did all of that and he matched. But again, you have to be patient. You have to look for opportunities. My friend told me that even when he got that categorical spot, people in his Mayo or Cleveland clinic, they were picking up the phone and calling for him. They didn't even accept him in Mayo Clinic or Cleveland Clinic, but people picked up the phone and there was a new program in Florida and they were looking for residents and he was a perfect match for them. New program, they want somebody who knows what they are doing. So they accepted him with his experience, and so it can happen. How significantly the year of graduation affect IMG? It's always decreased the chance of you getting accepted in general surgery. But we'll go back again. We are not American graduates. We are from different countries. So if you come in here, they're not going to look at your year of graduation. If you do well with their research, with your sometimes, as I told you, even with your if you are prelim and you are shining and you're really good and you close your mouth and work without any issues, you might have a chance. But again, if you are like 35 years old and comes in, your chances is much lower than if you are 25 years old and coming in. Again, this is also, general surgery programs are really malignant programs. It's like people get yelled at, disrespected. They don't want somebody older than them to be in the program, or even better than them technically, to like do the job, because you're doing like night calls, you're doing these mortality and morbidity conferences. You'll get too many like disrespected sometimes, so you cannot like, they don't like the old people, as I told you. But again, it can happen. It happened in different programs. I've seen people. It can be done. Surgery residency application. What are the common weaknesses in the surgery residency application of IMG and how to overcome it? Simple. It's you are not American graduate. Unfortunately, again, general surgery program getting, as I said in my previous slides, there is 2 applicants for each spot in general surgery. We have almost 100% match rate. So you need to be good. You need to be better than average to be accepted there. But there is too many people I know. They went through the system. They were patient. They worked really hard, and they matched. And they are even plastic surgeons, thoracic surgeons, and all of that. So the biggest weakness is our being IMGs, and there is too much competitiveness into general surgery and all other surgical branches. How important is having a letter from a program director or department chair? Of course, as we know, the importance of letters of recommendation. If you get a letter of recommendation from somebody well known in the field, like for like cardiac surgery, if you get a letter of recommendation from one of the AATS chief or STS chiefs, chairs, these are the people like society chief. Everybody knows them. So when you get a letter, oh, I know Dr. Coselli, he is the top 10 aortic surgeon in the world. I know Dr. Eleftheriadis, I know Dr. DeMaio. So if you get a letter from somebody they know or everybody knows, it will get you a really good, it will be considered a very good letter of recommendation. Of course, getting a letter from PD and chair, this is very important, because the PT or chair, these are few people in the United States. Okay, there is not too many of them, and also these people are active in the societies, and sometimes people knows them, even they are not very active or like elected as society chief or something, but they still very important people. And if you get that, it's really high. If you get a letter from a dean, that's all very important. But the issue is as everybody knows, to get a chair or a dean letters, all people knows these people are very busy. They're not going to shadow some like a chair, right? Rarely, but it can happen. Again, if you work with them with the research, you get a letter of recommendation. And the most important thing from the letter is not also, it's getting a letter from these people. Plus, these letters have some important personal information. It's not a generic letter of recommendation. Okay, how many surgical rotation would you recommend completing before applying? It does not really. This surgical rotation will only get you probably an interview in that program, and this is important, right? Because again, it's the reality is most of the program rarely looks at the IMGs, and this was been told to me by multiple program directors. Because if they have 2 spots and they get 400 applicants, they're not going to look at the normal like people like IMGs without very strong application. Baylor in Houston, I think they get up to 1,600 application for only for 10 spots or 11 spots now. So how they are going to look at your application? It's either somebody will call them, hey, can you interview Waleed? He's good. He has 30 plus publication. He has good scores. Or like you did rotation with them, and one of the attending will send the PD a letter, hey, can you interview this person, he is good. I did that in my at Baylor. I have a guy who worked in the research for 2 years. He asked for my help. I tried to send his information to the PD, and also his mentor, because his mentor is working in the program and he is a chief of division here, also helped him to get an interview. I mean, he didn't match at the program, but again, he matched in general surgery in different program, and he got some connection in that program. But he did 2 or 3 years research at Baylor, then he got into that spot. So it's not like everybody knows also these rotations in the general surgery program, you don't do anything. It's very rarely that you're going to shine in just doing this rotation, because most of the attending, they are busy doing things, even the resident. But it's if it's good if you do that rotations. These in US, this might get you an interview, even for a prelim spot. What questions did you find most difficult during your interviews? So in general surgery, as a categorical, I didn't have a lot of experience. And to be honest, at the end, it were the same questions. During my CT surgery fellowship, I got over 25 interviews. At the end, like, I started hating going to these interviews because the same question got repeated. Then you'll tell me about yourself. I repeated this like for 1,000 times. So I keep I hate. So most of the interviews really will end up with the same questions, because they are not going to really, most of the program won't really decide in interview during the interview they are going to accept you or not, in just accept few cases. So like the interview is just to look for red flags, or you're really, really good during interviews and people will, oh, this guy is, we have to accept this guy. It's very rarely this happens, because you're going to repeat the same questions. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your scores. And this question, what happened? What the difficulty that you resolved during your residency or during your life. They're just trying to get you think about how they try to figure out how you're thinking. One of the questions they asked me, it was a surprise to me. I thought that why, like, so they asked me, hey, you asked one of your intern during my CT surgery fellowship. They asked me, hey, you have an intern and you ask him to do remove a drain, and you came out after surgery, after your day surgeries, and the drain was not removed. So I thought when he asked me this question, I thought that he was asking me to see how I'm going to deal with the people that below me. So I told him, hey, I will go and talk to him. I told him, hey, can you please remove this drain? This is important for this reasons, 1, 2, 3. Then he told me, and you go after 1 hour and the drain is still not removed. I keep asking. I thought that, again, he was asking me to see how I'm going to deal with my interns. But again, to be honest, I told him what I'm going to do. So I'm going to remove the drain myself because this is the right thing to do. And apparently this is the answer he was looking for, not only looking at how I'm dealing with my interns, but he wanted to see how I'm going to deal with for patients, what I'm going to do for the patient. Am I doing the right thing for the patient? So you'll get these interviews rarely. I think this was a Harvard interview, but most of the interviews you'll be like bored, the same questions, and they may have some twists, but they are very rare. What do surgery programs specifically look for when interviewing IMGs? The most important, they look at your scores. They're looking for your publication. Um, Rarely they will look at your personal statement or if you did any fellowships, or it might help. But these are the things that I really looking. Who called for you? Who got you into review? Because it's very rare for them to send an interview for people. And it's publication, it's number of publication. If you're doing something is different from other IMGs, other AMGs, American medical graduates. What are the biggest red flags that prevent IMGs from getting surgery interviews? It's against being an IMG. It's the competitiveness. There is too many applicants, and to get into these interviews, it's either somebody will call for you or you're working hard in that program. And it's I have a friend of mine. She came also from AUB, high scores, very nice, and she was very pleasant to work with. She's very good. She's very nice, and she's very good. Like she did prelim, 2 prelim years at Yale, and she was really good. Everybody loves her. She's always there. And at BGY3, they have an opening for BGY3, and she got it. I have another friend too, and also he was like superstar, also from AUB. He's from Lebanon, and he came in, he did research. They accepted him as a prelim, and he was superstar during residency. And he did, I think, one or second year, he was because he was so good in his second year prelim year, he was getting offers from ortho, from different, like even plastic surgery. And even at that time, the program were dragging their feet. Then he just went to the program director and he told him, hey, I got 2 offers and I need an answer from you guys. Either you guys accept me in your general surgery program, I'm going to accept you. I take one of these offers because it's rare. He wanted to do CT surgery. And actually, they got him the spot, and he's attending now at the same program, and he's superstar too. Next one is, what advice did you receive as an IMD that turned out to be wrong? Oh yeah, they told me it's okay to score average at the ABSITE, which is in-service exam for all the general surgery they take in January of each year. They told me it's okay, it will be okay to score average, but it was wrong apparently. It's right for the American graduates. So the program will be off their back during residency. But even for the American graduate or categorical spots, it's not really right, because during fellowship, they are going to look at your scores. And so my prelim scores were not really high, but then I fixed that later on. And it was like 99 percentile, 90 percentile later on in the next few years during my categorical exam. I think they let me do the exam, the board exam one year earlier, so I didn't do it last time. But again, it was very, very important even during my fellowship application. Can a BGY1 prelim resident move directly into categorical? Yes, all the time. It happens. They can move to categorical even if you do BGY1, then BGY2 prelim. There's few programs like Yale, Mayo, they give you BGY1 and BGY2. They can move to BGY3 spot directly too. It's still a year, but it's if you want to get into the match again next year, you have to start from BGY1. And getting into BGY2 position happens in a few instances. The first one, if the program want to expand, and maybe they have 3 categorical residents and they have 3 prelim. The next year they wanted extra one in the BGY4 and BGY2, so they will accept one of their prelims. or one of the BGY2 categorical, they quit. And this happens, as I told, like I think 5% of general surgery residents, they quit. So you'll have another opening as the BGY2 or get fired. Few people get fired. I have not friend. It was a colleague at Yale. He got fired from ENT program as BGY2. It happens, and it can be done. How should an IMG choose programs realistically? What programs are genuinely IMG friendly? There is no IMG friendly programs. If you see, as I told you in the previous presentation, there is like very few spots filled by IMGs. But there is programs that they accept only IMGs in their prelim. As Yale, when I did Yale, they accept like I think 8. They accepted 8 categorical and 8 prelim. All the prelim except one, I think, was IMGs, and they interview their IMGs residents. I got an interview. Then I went there, and but they accept IMGs at that program. But other programs, they don't try to accept IMGs, because the problem with that too, whenever you get accepted in the program director, PD, sometimes or most of the times, they are trying to help you get a categorical spot. This is why some programs, they are trying to get all American graduates, and even some people who like try to go to radiology or other specialties, to get them into fill these spots, because these, as a prelim resident, they want you to fill the schedule, they round on people, write notes, really operate. So they are trying to do, they're trying to get you to do these simple tasks, right? So they really don't care about like, they want quality. They still want quality. They want you to do these steps, taking calls without a headache, and to be as safe too. So they will look into the application, and also they don't want to get somebody that will stuck with them and they don't get a spot for him, because this is a problem for them too. Because like nobody will want, especially American graduates, they don't want to go into a program that most of their prelims, they didn't get any spot, they didn't get any help. Because everybody knows, if you failed for American graduates, I mean, if you failed a BGY1, getting into the specialty you want as a BGY1, the second chance, you don't have any other chances after your second chance. So you have to really work hard. So you need a program director that will pick up the phone and call for you. You will need somebody to write you a good letters of recommendation. So they won't go to a program that people tells you that this program does not help their prelim to get a spot. Realistically, you'll need to go to a program. They have a very good research, and they have a few prelims in the program. Even as attending, sometimes this might help you getting there and trying to get somebody in that program to help you into getting a spot. But big programs, sometimes even you see, they're really hard to get into. For the prelim, you might be able. Yale, as I told you before, Yale, I did not even think they will even accept me. When I went to the interview, I wasn't going to interview in New York. Then it was like in the next day, so that I'm finishing my interview in New York, then I'm going just to drive to Connecticut to interview there. If it was a long interview, it's the middle of interview, I won't even go, because I didn't want to spend $500 on tickets. Then I want to go to the program, and they won't accept me. But apparently it was, let's say it's an IMG friendly program, because they have prelim, all IMGs, and they get prelims into BGY3 later on to fill their defects. And different story I will tell later on. Oh, that's all. Okay, if you have this, me talk about this very quickly. So Yale have their unique system. They have a BGY1 and BGY2. They accept like categorical 8, and I think it was a prelim 8. They accept all the categorical at my time, at least like maybe 8 years ago. They accept all the categorical from American. Rarely, they have also in the past, before I came in, they will always accept one IMG in their categorical. That IMG was like a perfect candidate. They know, or he did research. Until one of the years, they got somebody from Australia that she was not doing well, and they had to fire her. Then they went back to the same rule of everybody else. All the American will get all the categorical spots. Then they have 8 prelim residents, maybe no more. All of them are IMGs. During BGY1, BGY2, they give BGY1, BGY2 for prelim 2. And for BGY2, everybody, for all the categorical residents, they will go directly into research. And they give them the chance to do as many years as they want. It's very important. It's very important for them to do research. So they will telling them that some of people do 2 years, some will do 3. I have a friend who did 5 years of PhD during his research. So the problem when you give a freedom to the residents to go into research, you will have either for the BGY3, so you'll have BGY1, BGY2 categorical people. 8 of them will go into the pool of research. And so this pool of research, they have the freedom to do as many years as they want. So when you have this system, coming from the people who are coming from the research pool, they may be 6, maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 12. You don't know. Because they give them the freedom. If you are doing a PhD and you are going to go to you are going to go for 3, 4, 5 years, you are going to, the people who's coming at your year will be like 7 or 6. The problem, these guys who spent 3 years or 4 years in research coming back, some years you'll have 11. So at my year, unfortunately, I was unlucky, and instead of 8, 11 people came back to the BGY3, so they didn't have any spot. But the year before me and the year after me, I think they got like one got like 6, so they accepted 2 of their prelim into the categorical spot, and they give them categorical spots. So you can see at Yale sometimes, at least by 2018, 17, when I was there, you can see every year they have 1 or 2 prelims or IMGs in their categorical pool because of that. Okay, I think that's all. If you have any more questions.
Thank you, Waleed. Yeah, I have. I'll start asking myself about the last presentation you did. So you mentioned in the last webinar, you said you owe your mentor at Yale everything, who supported you through this inspiring journey. But my question for you, so he supported you, as you said, and he liked you, and you did with him 2 years of prelim. So why he didn't get you in the category residency at Yale?
Oh, again, it was the problem with that program. It was, as I told you, it was like when you go to the people who's coming from research, it's either like 8, which is the number they want in every year to fill all the rotations. Some of these years, 6 or 7 comes back, and some of these years like 11. At my year, 11 came back from research.
Okay.
So they don't really have any BGY 3 spots open because they already have extra 3 came back at that year. That being said, this is why at my time I accepted a research position at Yale hopefully, I said, if I do 1 or 2 years with them research later on, and there is some opening in the next year or two, I will get into that opening. This is why I wanted to stay, just waiting for opportunity. Then Baylor opportunity came in, which is better. As I told you, it was an NIH grant. It was a master degree too. So I said, okay, I will go back to Houston.
Okay. Another question. So you mentioned last time about the generic that you found about the letter of recommendation. If I'm gonna ask about that, so the generic, like we have 1600 at Baylor application, right? At what stage they're gonna read the letter of recommendation? I mean, how they, like you said, the generic letter of recommendation affected your acceptance, right? You found that. Okay. Can you emphasize that, elaborate more about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's to be, again, to be an IMG, you need really a strong letters of recommendation that people will be impressed by them.
Okay.
It's not because program directors, they read or they read thousands of letters of recommendation. They know which one is written just because somebody asked them to write a letter of recommendation. You'll find all the info, like you'll find these generic sentences that he's good, he's very enthusiastic, he's good, he's solid medical knowledge, all this. It does not make a difference in your letters of recommendation. I look at my letters of recommendation when I was applying for a categorical spot when I was at Yale, and I looked at my letters of recommendation later on, and actually I was told by the PDs or the program director that interviewed into CT surgery, and it's a huge difference because the CT thoracic surgery people, when I interviewed with them, they will tell me, "Oh, this is the winner of the best letters of recommendation for today," because the people who wrote me the letters of recommendation, they really, I mean, one of them, she asked me, "Do you want me to write you a letter of recommendation?" And she wrote one of the best letters of recommendation, and she put all the stories about me during the rotation in that plan, that rotation. So like everybody, even they asked me if these stories were true. And so this is different from people saying, yeah, he's good, solid medical knowledge, he's on time, and all of that. When somebody say, I met Waleed, he during his rotation, he did not miss any day of rotation. He came on his weekends to help us with the transplant. He stayed late. He travels with us for procurements, and he did not was happy to do all of that. He came in and do a line that is unnecessary at 7 p.m. for a patient in the ED. So all these stories will tell you, okay, that person is good, and you can compare it to a letter of recommendation that, yeah, he has a solid medical knowledge. This does not make a difference for you.
I agree. Okay, another question. So, in your opinion, experience, colleagues, and discussions that you had, if I'm gonna ask you, which one you think, in your opinion, gonna contribute to your application more, a master degree or another degree, versus more publications, or like started my residency in, most of the surgeon came to here, they already started their residency in outside United States. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, getting a letter of recommendation, I mean, getting a residency outside United States usually affects you in a bad way, not in a good way.
Okay.
Because it's really hard to retrain you.
Okay.
And people does not like people who comes as attendee because they cannot boss them around.
Okay.
It's not all the time it's correct, because some new programs, they prefer some experience because it's new program. They don't want to focus on only training you technical things, but they are really, most of the program, they don't really care if you trained. It's better if you are not trained in your country. The most thing that really helped for me to be accepted into Critical Spot is my mentor, to be honest. He was really a good guy. He was really helpful. In every chance, he called for me, he emailed for me, he contacted people for me. And this made a huge difference. My master degree helped, but again, this is all that will, like, if somebody call for you and get you an interview, now your CV will help you. You're getting master degree, you're getting publication, you're getting grants, you're getting high scores. This is where the program directors, when they accept you, they will say, okay, he had all of these publications, he had all this strong resume, and this is why I accepted him. Because also, don't forget the PDs, if they accepted somebody and this someone is not good enough, everybody in the program will blame them. Like, it's always you have one or two reasons they are not really good enough, and they ruin the program, especially in general surgery program, because they are not good in calls. They are missing things. People may get hurt because of them. They miss. They don't contact their seniors, or even when they're seniors, they don't know what's going on wrong. And they have. If you're a program director, you need whoever you accept will be really good enough.
Okay. Okay, this is clear. Thank you, Waleed.
No problem.
Another question. Another question. If, like, most of the audience right now, either they are in last year at medical school or in an internship. If I'm gonna ask you to give them the top most important advice, 5 advice to focus in to prepare themselves for like surgical residency in United States, what you gonna advise them? Hey, do this and this and this in brief. What you
And
gonna
so,
advise?
sorry, this is for them after they got accepted or to be accepted?
To be prepared to match in surgery in United
To be
States.
prepared. Okay, so don't get really high scores during abstracts, because again, you are not. If you cannot be average. If you
Okay.
want to match into surgery, you cannot be average. You need to work really hard on finding mentors that will vouch for you later on, and these people are not getting, you don't get these people easily. It's either research, or you are going to get them through working with them, or they are like from your country and they vouch for you. I have too many stories about these people that maybe from your country and they vouch for you and you get a spot. So get these people, get a mentor who will help you. If you ever get somebody, a residence, to tell you some information, tell you what to do, that will be helpful. Get into research. If you can, try, you can do from overseas, but it's really hard to do that. You have to be present. People has to see you. Don't miss any opportunity, because even to get into a research spot, people need to know that you know how to do research. So you need to start early if you can do that. Um, work hard, even if you are doing prelim, even if you are doing um, if you are doing even fellowship, you have to be the first there, the last one to leave. You have to be nice for every single one. You don't know who will be how people, like, some people will be nice for just the important people, or be reckless and like deal with other people like there does not exist. This is wrong. You cannot be humble with everyone, and people will know that who are you later on. Even if you don't show it, people will know this is a nice person, this is very pleasant to work with.
Okay.
Okay, and there is 2 questions, I think, or one question from
On the chat, yeah. So one
Maria.
asking what kept you going in this like very inspired journey?
Oh yeah, that was actually every single time I said, okay, it's very close. It's God will find me a way.
Okay.
It's always that. Like, I went through all of that because there is a plan for me, and it's really worked. It's always be patient, believe in God, and you'll get into wherever you want. You just have to be patient.
The most patient in my life, I would.
Yes.
Thank you. So another question asking between it's gonna be a tough question, but we need to answer this one. She asked about if you're gonna select between research fellowship or master degree, which one you gonna pick?
I mean, it will be always research, but it's to me it was the same thing because a master degree was doing classes with, and I did that because it was a grant from NIH. NIH was even giving the program money to give me a master degree. Uh, Master degree is something that can be shown in your CV, like publication, but it's for me it was the same thing. Actually, even my mentor was asking me not to do a master degree because I will spend more time doing classes than doing research. But then he said, no, just do it, that's okay. We'll find a way, and you're a hard worker. But again, it's both important. But if you have a choice between both, I will do research and get publication. You can always do it as extra, doing public health public, I think, master degree, 1 year or 2 years, and you can even do that very simply. But publication will talk about you better in your CV.
Okay. Another, maybe you can elaborate on this one. Some of them they got, as you know, some of them they got position here in United States as a research, and they publish like one or two paper a year. So it doesn't matter if you match or have a program in master or research fellowship. The most important is like how many publication, how much you are productive during that. So meaning in your your advice, doesn't matter if you got master. The most important is the outcome. Is that right, Walid?
Yes, that's correct. The most important thing is the outcome. How many publication you are doing. You don't want to be an average. Again, most of the American graduates will have 5 publication at least. So if you are coming in, you are trying to compete American graduate, and you have 2 publication average scores, why they're going to accept you?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, this is the mistake I happen sometimes. So some of them they like work hard to get a position here, and then they end up like with a few or less than average in like the outcome in the research. Another question they ask about, you said you need to publish more like around 20 to 30 public or significant publication. How many years they will take to have
I
this?
mean, so if you're doing a clinical, you can get these papers out very quick. I have a friend of mine. She worked at MD Anderson, and she got, during her 2 years of research, she got 45 publication, and she had 2 babies during that time. Uh, the thing with this is, first, if you are working with a mentor that specializes in research, usually you have a group of people, not just you. So you have like 8 or 9 people, and Abdullah, you know better than me. I think you're working in research too. So you have 8 or 9 people in that group, and these people, all of them will publish. You don't have to be the first author in all publication. I mean, it's better if you are first author, but they don't even look. Sometimes you say, hey, I'm calling you about Abdullah. He has 40 publication, but maybe out of these 40, he has only 5 in first author, and he helped with the others. Okay, so you have to, if you work with a group of people, you might get too many publication, even if you are not a first author.
Yes.
Also, it will get a big difference for you if you do high impact papers, which is very rare to be IMG and getting involved into that without being like a paper that change um, guidelines or something. These are very rare. You're not going to get involved in this right now.
Yes. And sometimes those, as you mentioned, some of the people they are obsessed about the first author and they get themselves like in trouble for that. The most important when you publish more, and sometimes first author, second author, last or whatever, reflect good in you because it reflects that you are a team player, right? And you work with the team. Another question here, she asked about the US experience. Doesn't matter if it's observership or hands-on rotation.
Yeah, so everybody knows that hands-on like rotation is a BS. Like they don't even let students, like the only thing that I let students do is either drive my camera during surgery or close the skin. Some hospitals I let them do the wound bag changes bedside at county hospital. Sometimes it's really it's hands-on. It's not real. It's not real that like if you're shadowing somebody will let you. What does it mean? Do you examine the chest? Do you examine the patient? You cannot put orders. You cannot do anything. You are just shadowing somebody. You're rounding with them. So hands-on is really not a real thing. Nobody even will look at that.
Yeah.
The only thing that's shadowing will help you is getting interview in that program. And again, if you get interview and they open a door for you, they have to look at your CV, which again, number of publications, scores, and the only IMG that make a difference if you are from Europe, right? This is different IMG from somebody from Baghdad, right? So you have these will open a door for you for an interview, but you have to have a good, really good CV. But you are not tested. You are not doing calls. You are not doing 24-hour calls. You are not getting ICU shifts. You are not rounding on 20, 30 patient and try to get everything done for them on time. This is not really real if you are doing hands-on, because everybody knows it's not real hands-on. You're not doing any work or just shadowing people.
Yeah. Another question. I know that you are on surface. Just tell me when you like have a call. I can end this session, but we'll keep asking as much as we
No,
have.
sure. No worries.
Yeah. Another question they ask. When start the gaps? Like after the mid school, the gap affect you. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. How
Yeah,
long?
it's again for general surgery. It's you're not competing with IMGs. You're competing again with American graduates. None of the American graduates will have any gap, right? Most of them they will be applying as the third year. They interview during their fourth year and they will match. Um, Actually, it's September, so it will be the fourth year. They will match in May. So they will start application in September and they will match in March. Okay. So you're competing with these people. If you are coming from like as IMG, then you have 4 or 5 years of gap. What do you mean by gap? Like sitting working in trades or in finance? This, of course, is different. Nobody will come 5 years gap. It's just you either doing something in your country, you are like a resident in your country and all of that, or studying, like doing training, or doing research. So these are most of the gaps that they encounter. Um, in medicine, they will ask you about these. They really, because you are competing with other IMGs. So they will ask you about these gap years. But in surgery, nobody even mentioned that to me. They just ask about stories because they don't usually see IMGs interviewing, or especially from Iraq. So as soon as they will tell me about yourself, I will tell them that I worked 2 years in Iraq. Then they will just shift the talk to Iraq and how is Iraq in 2011 when I was there, and they'll ask you a question about that because it's interesting to them. But they won't really, in medicine, they will care more about it. In surgery, it's not.
Okay.
Because again, it's your chance is already very low.
Okay. To be fair, we have 6 minutes to end this. I'm gonna take a question from those people attending first. I believe Sudha, she asked how to find a research position after graduation in US.
Yeah, you have two ways. It's either you are going to find a friend of yours who is doing research and he's leaving his research that will recommend you.
Okay.
And I've seen this a lot during my friends. I've seen somebody when they leave, they recommend somebody, they bring them in. Um, the other way is, again, emailing hundreds of emails. It's not one or two emails, hundreds of emails till somebody will respond to you. Go to societies, these like AITS or Society of Thoracic Surgeons. You might get involved in these mentors, but it's very rare. It's most of the times either somebody will bring you in, or you're going just to email people and somebody will respond.
Yes. And they have to be patient, especially nowadays with the visas.
Yes.
Okay, another question. What about, they asking about the ACGME, an accredited surgical fellowship after finishing the surgery in home country. What do you think?
Yeah. So it's it will open the doors for you. I have few stories about people. I have a friend of mine. He was from India. He did thoracic surgery in India. He came in and he did aortic fellowship at Baylor, and he liked the situation in US, so he wanted to continue here. So what he did is basically he applied for general surgery. Of course, Baylor did not accept him because he's old, he's already attending. The same reasons I said before, even though he was super nice and super good, they didn't accept him. So, but he got directly a categorical spot in New York, and he went to BGY4. The other friend, the Syrian friend, he did two super fellowship, Cleveland, Clinton, Baylor, and I think Mayo or Cleveland, I forget which one. Then he found a mentor that picked up the phone for him and called for him. Then he got a spot into categorical, then he finished. Um, that being said, I have an attending that I'm working right now from Peru that I just knew that he is a surgeon, thoracic surgeon in Peru, and he did the Cleveland Clinic fellowship, and he's operating as attending, but he didn't finish general surgery here. Actually, I was surprised. Just I knew that a few days ago. I
Yes.
remember there's something called a pathway.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. So I didn't really know how he did it. I will ask him later on to figure that out. But also the other way, if you do non-accredited fellowship, you get a license in the program. Sorry, you get a license in the state. Depends on the state. So if you do 2 years of non-accredited fellowship in Texas, 2 years in the same program, you can get a medical license. This medical license does not mean that you're board certified. This means that you can work as general practitioner, okay? And you can work as a primary care physician. I have few of old friends, old graduates that did that, and they got a license and they're working at a general practitioner right now and see patients and can do all of that. But mainly, if you do non-accredited fellowship as attending from other, like you're attending in country and do some non-accredited fellowship, this might help you open the door for the future, getting a categorical spot, repeating everything from the beginning if you can. That's the main reason.
Okay. Thank you, Waleed. In 30 seconds, please. Very important question. Have you witnessed any burnout? And how did you manage that?
Oh yeah, we all burned out. That's the normal thing. I
How did
started.
you manage that?
Yeah, I basically I try to take naps when I can during my long calls. If I can, try to go to the gym, play soccer sometime if I can. But the burnout is real, burnout everywhere, and that's a very very long talk. They will teach you how to do it, but it's all does not help. The burnout will be there, and unfortunately, you have to deal with it.
Waleed, Waleed,
Yes,
thank you very, very much. I really
no,
appreciate it.
no problem, man. Happy to help
Uh,
later.
really inspired journey, very positive. Um, um, I cannot thank you enough for this one. You did this for surgical community, for our future medical student and surgeon and physician scientists. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And big thank you from Goal, Dr. Nihal Eid, the webinar manager, and Dr. Serene Sabatin, and Mariam Ismail, and Dr. Zaid Al Abdhan. All of those, they put together many efforts to success this webinars. And big thank you for you, Waleed.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and see you in our next webinar with Dr. Hala Hassanin. She's going to talk as navigating through match insight from Chief Resident. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.